Hello, Princess on a Pillow here. I am here to do a review slash recap with my opinion on 90 Day Fiance, Season 9, Episode 17. It's titled To Have and to Scold. Thank God this is the very last episode of this season. Let's get started. First up, it's Emily and Colby. We see Emily in her hotel room. It's the day of the wedding. Emily and Colby, they argued the night before, and they haven't spoken to each other since. She claims she's feeling regrets because she started the arguments. And isn't that always the way it is? She starts the arguments, right? So she calls Colby and apologizes. Um, and of course he accepts her apology. And they declare their love for each other. So then we see Colby in his room, and he's stressing because he is praying that the marriage will be a success because they argue so much. But Colby, let me tell you, nobody knows if your marriage is going to be a success or not. You just have to take a leap of faith. That's it. So next scene, we see Emily getting dressed for the wedding. And I like her makeup, but I wish she had done something more fancy with her hair. Maybe like half up, half down. So we can see the full makeup and see her earrings. She had her hair down like she normally does. Anyway, we see Colby with his groomsmen, and they're getting dressed. And Temperature is still hollering that we are men, and we call the shots. And we need to tape his mouth shut. I can understand him telling Colby, giving Colby advice such as don't allow Emily to walk all over you. You need to voice your opinion, stuff like that. But I don't know which country he think he's in. This is the United States of America. This is not Africa. You know, most women, most women. I'm not gonna say not all women in the United States of America. They don't have a man leading them by the nose, telling them what to do. So chill out with that. Anyway, Emily's father shows up to Colby's room, and I guess he's making sure that Colby didn't run off to Ohio with Temperature. Because I don't know why he's there, but anyway. He's going to be walking his daughter down the aisle. He's supposed to be standing outside his daughter's door waiting for her to be ready, right? Anywho, Colby looks okay. His pants, I didn't like his pants. His pants are those tight-legged pants with high waters. Excuse me. The father said in his confessional that Colby had written him a letter asking for Emily's hand in marriage. And I think that was nice of Colby to do that. Anyway, Emily probably told him to do that. So then the father gives Colby something, and we don't know what it is. He put something in his hand and shut his hand, and Colby has his hand really, really tight. We couldn't see what it is. I'm surprised the producers didn't say, Colby, what's that? I'm thinking it's money, but he said it's something special. I don't know. But then Colby got emotional and he started to cry. And then they hugged each other. And the father started to cry. And the father told Colby that he loved him like a son. And Colby is just breaking down, bawling. So then the producers made us think that Colby was going to spill the beans about Emily being pregnant. But he didn't say that. All he said to the father was, he thanked the father for accepting him after he knocked up his daughter. And those were his words, not mine. And he also thanked the father for raising his son. In his confessional, he basically said that he is afraid to tell the father because he's afraid of Emily's wrath. Talk about, Emily trusts me, so I'm not going to say anything. No, you ain't saying nothing because you scared Emily gonna go off on you. But I wish Colby had worn his African garb. I like the cultural, outfits. Because that tux, it looked okay. It wasn't fabulous or anything. It looked okay. Next up, Emily walks down the aisle with her father, and a harp is playing instead of a piano. And I like that. I love the sound of the harp. It sounds better than a piano. Anyway, they said their vows, and Emily cried when they exchanged rings, and they said their I do's, and then they pronounced them man and wife, and they kissed. Um, they did a little dance at the reception, and with Emily holding Colby, and then they cut the cake, and I don't know what the tradition is in Cameroon, but Colby wasn't trying to feed Emily no cake. He was feeding himself the cake. He was stuffing cake in his own mouth. But then Emily said, "No, feed me." So then he fed her the cake. So then the messy producer asks them if it's time to tell the parents about the pregnancy. Emily says no. Colby says yes. And then Colby says when he looks at her father, he feels badly. And Emily said, "Well, don't look at him." So a couple of days later, after the wedding, Emily and Colby, they plan on telling her parents about the pregnancy. So they're all at the dinner table, they're having dinner, and they discuss Colby turning in his paperwork to get his green card so he can be employed. And then Colby just tells them, Colby says, Emily is pregnant. And they are shocked. And Emily tells them that Colby wanted to tell them, but she said no. And the father asks Emily how far along she is. And she said 10 weeks. And the father was like, "Lord of mercy, oh my God, Jesus Christ." Then he did like this. He was pissed. You could tell he was pissed. And then the sister asked Emily, why did it have to be a secret? And Emily said, because I told them I wouldn't get pregnant. She pointed to her mother and father. She told them, she said, I told them I wouldn't get pregnant, but I did it anyway. She said, it's the story of my life. And then the father said, exactly. He was like this. Exactly. He was pissed. The sister told the camera that Emily takes advantage of her parents and everything they have. And I say to the sister, Emily takes advantage of the parents because they allow that. That's what they allow this to happen. Emily said to Colby, do you see how disappointed they are? And then the father and the mother said, we're not disappointed, we're shocked. You are disappointed, you're disappointed and shocked. So the father told them that he had planned on retiring in about a year or a year and a half. And now he can't retire because he has to take care of them. And that's sad. That is sad. And then the father said to the camera that maybe he's being too easy on Emily because she feels very secure. And yes, she feels secure because she even told Colby that she's not leaving the comfort of her parents' house to go to Ohio. She's staying right there at her parents' house. And then the father told them, he told Colby and Emily that they are going to have to sit down and figure out how they're going to support themselves and these two babies. And then Emily said, well, we know that. That's the end of Emily and Colby. Next is Jabri and Miona. We see Jabri and his grandmother outside, and they are in Joshua Tree. Don't even know where that is, but I would never go there. It looks ugly. It's an ugly looking place. It's like a dry desert. It looks like a dry desert. It looks like a place where there would be snakes, spiders, scorpions, and lizards. That's not a place I would want to be. There's no buildings. There's no nightlife. It looks isolated and dull and boring. That's not a place I would want to be ever. Anyway, Jabri and his grandmother, they talk about Jabri's mother not coming to the wedding. And in his confessional, Jabri said David is not coming. David is not coming to the wedding because of Miona. And nobody likes Miona, and I don't see what she has done to any of them. What has she done to these people that they don't like her? Jabri has a lot of petty ass people in his life. That's all I know. So his friend Igor is supposed to bring an arch for the wedding, but Jabri has not heard from him. Now me, I would not rely on somebody to bring an arch to my wedding. I would have to make it myself or order it from Amazon or something. I wouldn't rely on somebody to drive it to me and bring it to. Mm-mm. I'd have to do everything myself. I hate relying on people like that. So we see Miona. She is saying she compromised on the beach wedding, and she wants an arch for the wedding. Since she compromised on the beach wedding, she wants something that she can get, an arch. And I don't understand why they couldn't drive a few more hours to find a beach. They're close to California, I think. This Joshua Tree thing place is, I think, is close to California. They could have driven a few more hours to find a beach. I really hate that she's not getting her beach wedding, because it's something simple. It's not something difficult. It's not something hard. A beach wedding is something simple to ask for. This is the United States of America. Just about everywhere you go, you either see a beach, a lake, a river, a pond. You see some type of beautiful scenery with water. So I don't understand why she couldn't find some kind of water to have her wedding by. And I can't believe she's getting married in this ugly, dried up desert on a piece of plywood. Jabri is trying to act out what the ceremony would look like, but it's a total shit show. He hasn't written his vows. He hasn't tried on his suit. He doesn't know if Igor is showing up. So Miona tells the grandmother that Igor is running late and he's about 2 hours away. And now Miona is worried that Igor will not get there in time for when the sun is out. And I feel bad for her. She's not getting her beach wedding. She has no friends and no family there. Jabri's friends and family don't like her, and now she can't even get an arch. Next, we see Jabri shaping up his edges with a razor blade. Jabri is one person I never thought I would have to call ghetto, but he's shaping up his hair with a razor blade. Wow. Do you know how many little shaving things there are? You can go to the dollar store and get shaving things. Anywho, we see Miona getting dressed with the help of the grandmother. And there's a photographer taking pictures of her. And then we see Jabri. He's wearing a turtleneck shirt and a jacket and these skinny pants. And they're high water with no socks and slipping shoes. He doesn't look like the groom. He doesn't look like the groom. Miona looks good, but I wanted her her hair to look prettier. Her hair was too plain. It was just pulled back into a ponytail. Her dress had these see-through puffs on the sleeves. I'm not sure if I like that. I think that was a bit too fussy. But overall, she looked nice. She looked nice. And when Jabri saw her, he was extremely pleased of how she looked. So they go outside to take pictures, and they're still waiting for this arch to show up. And then the grandmother tells Jabri that they don't need the arch. The sky and sun is all they need. Clearly, the grandmother does not give a shit about Miona and her feelings, because this would be the only thing that she asks for that she's getting is a stupid-ass arch. So why don't she think that's important? It's important because this is Miona's wedding, and if that's what she wants, then that's what she wants. I wish Miona had people around her that actually cared about her and her wedding day, you know? The grandmother says sometimes you don't get everything you want. At this point, she's getting nothing that she wants. She's not getting her arch. She's not getting her beach. So what are you talking about, grandmother? So Jabri got a hold of Igor, and he said he was 10 minutes away. Jabri goes outside to let Miona know. And before you know it, Igor shows up. And I don't know what's going on with his hair. But Miona and I were just happy that he showed up. And the arch looked so plain. It was just 2 pieces of stick with some flowers stuck to it. But Miona loves it, so if she loves it, I love it too. I just want her to be happy on her wedding day. So Jabri lights stage, and Igor plays Jabri's music. And guess what? I liked Jabri's song. He wrote the song from Miona, and I liked it. It sounded good. I liked the song. I liked his voice. His voice sounded good. He was playing the guitar. I liked the words to the song. Good job, Jabri. You did a good job with that song. I really liked it. So they danced to the song, and Miona, she loved the song too. And then Miona read her vows, which was very nice. I didn't like Jabri's vows, and when he was reading his vows, it was just too animated for me. He could have calmed it down a notch. They said their I do's. They exchanged rings. They were pronounced married, and then they kissed. And then they drove off in this vintage truck/car thing, and it was cute. And that's the end of Jabri and Miona. Next up is Thais and Patrick. We picked up back with Patrick and Thais FaceTiming her father, and the father is voicing his displeasure of them getting married. He is totally against them marrying. And he wants Thais to bring her back to Brazil. The father told them that he did not know Patrick and they're too far away. I guess the father feels as if Patrick does something to her, he's too far away to come rescue Thais. Patrick tells the father that he will always take care of Thais because he loves her. But I think he needs to put that in writing because prior episode, Patrick was bitching that about all the money he spent on Thais. So yes, I would want him to get that in writing, saying that I will take care of you forever. Because he was bitching that one time. I spent money on you. I'm always paying for you. Da, 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 da. You brought her over here and you know she can't get a job yet. So of course you're going to spend money on her, idiot. The father told Thais that he is pissed at her, but it's her decision. Of course it's her decision. She's an adult. What are you going to do? You can't do anything about it. You can't stop her from marrying Patrick. So when they're finished talking to the father, with the father, Thais thanked Patrick for respecting her father and being polite to him. Let me come up closer. I don't think you can see me. I can barely see myself. Anyway. She thanked Patrick for being polite to her father. And I must say, Patrick did a good job while he was talking to the father. Even in his confessional, Patrick did take the blame by saying that he should have spent more time with Thais's father and so that he could get to know him better. Excuse me. I also think that Patrick should have asked the father for Thais's hand in marriage before he brought her to the States. The father probably would have said, hell no, but he still should have asked him for Thais's hand in marriage. Anyway, Thais is feeling less stressed now, and Patrick asked her if she wants to get married, and she said yes. And of course, Patrick is happy because guess what? The wedding is the very next day. So next we see Patrick and Thais. They're pulling up at the venue, and Thais, in her confession, is still saying she is not sure about marrying Patrick because he's controlling and they don't have her father's blessing. I am so sick of her now. I am so sick of her. I like Thais, but I am sick of her talking about she is not sure about marrying Patrick when she's doing everything to go forward with the wedding. She has her wedding dress. She has her makeup artist. She's at she's at the damn venue. And now she's talking about she's not sure she wants to marry him. That doesn't make sense to me, Thais, when you're doing everything to go forward with the wedding, but you're saying, I'm not sure. Shut up with that shit, because that's just ridiculous. So Patrick had gotten a wedding planner that did everything for them, so they don't have to do anything. All they have to do is show up at the wedding. Next, we see Thais getting her hair done. Thais tells the hairdresser that her family will be seeing the wedding on Zoom. Her grandmother and her dad will be looking at the wedding on Zoom. We never ever see Thais's mother. We don't know what's going on with that. Next, we see Patrick practicing the dance for the wedding. Thais she's supposed to be unsure about marrying Patrick, but she came up with this dance for them to do at the wedding. but she's not sure if she's going to marry him, right? So ridiculous. The storyline for her not wanting to marry him because he's controlling is nothing but some bull. Anyway, John and some other guy, I think his name is Wagner, shows up in Patrick's room, and the dance Patrick is trying to do looks ridiculous. Patrick said it's a Brazilian dance, and Thais paid someone to choreograph it for them. So she pays someone to do a choreography dance, but she's still not sure if that she wants to marry Patrick. That's some bull crap. Their stupid fake storyline is ridiculous to me. Anyway, Patrick is telling John and Wagner about the conversation with Thais's father, and they're both shocked that the father did not give Patrick his blessing. But anyway, they help him get dressed, and next we see Thais getting her makeup done, and the two girls from Dallas, they show up, and that made Thais happy. And of course, she tells the girls about her father not giving his blessings. In her confessional, she is crying because her father is not there to walk her down the aisle. Didn't she want Patrick to marry her in Vegas and then call the father and let the father know that she was married? But now all of a sudden she's crying because her father is not there to walk her down the aisle. Make it make sense, Thais. What are you crying for? You wanted to marry him in Vegas without your father even knowing you were getting married, and now you're crying because he's not there to walk you down the aisle? I'm so sick of her. Sick of her. So next we see Patrick. He goes to the altar and he's waiting and waiting. And the producer is trying to make us think that Thais is not going to show up, but we know she's going to show up. So then we see her. She shows up, of course. She's walking down the aisle in her plain dress, but at least it's fitted. And Patrick is blown away. He says how beautiful Thais is. Her grandmother and her father, they're on the video watching the ceremony. The officiant has his hands in his pockets, and he's wearing a tracksuit with shades. What the? That's so ratchet. So anyway, they said their vows. They exchange rings. They pronounce man and wife. They kiss. The guests blew bubbles while they hold hands and walk back down the aisle. Thais' first words as Patrick's wife is, "John is moving out." And I hope she get her wish. So they walk into the reception and they do their Brazilian dance, and it looks like they're doing two totally different dances. Then they do a cute little waltz. They should have just, instead of doing that Brazilian dance, they should have just did the floss, because you don't have to have rhythm to do the floss, right? So they did a little waltz, and they look good. They look good doing the waltz. And that was it. That's it for Patrick and Thais. Next up is Shide and Bilal. I think that's the last couple. Yeah, Shide and Bilal, the last couple. So we see Shida getting her makeup done. It's the wedding day. We see Bilal shaping up his edges and his son's edges. We see Nefertari. She's decorating the place, and she's going all out. She's doing a phenomenal job. She's doing a better job decorating the place than she did with the damn dress. Everything looks beautiful. All the decorations that she's doing looks beautiful. Miona should have hired Nefertari to decorate, because she did an arch also, and the arch is beautiful. It's pretty compared to Miona's little two-stick arch with a little piece of flower stuck to it. Nefertari's arch is nice. Nefertari got skills. Shida goes to show her sisters her makeup, and I thought her makeup was nice, but it wasn't anything spectacular. To me, her makeup looked the same way that she usually do her makeup. Maybe just a little bit more eyeshadow. And then we see the dress hanging on the hanger, and I hate that dress. It's ugly. The dress is a turtleneck. And then when she had it on and you looked in the back, it didn't even zip all the way up. What the hell? I think the turtleneck, wearing that turtleneck, she's going to get makeup on it, because sometimes people put makeup down here. I don't usually do that, but sometimes people put makeup down here, and she's going to get makeup on that dress, and the cleaner's not going to be able to get the makeup out of that dress, so she's going to have to end up burning the dress anyhow. And I'm happy. Burn that thing. It's ugly. It's a turtleneck dress. All the way up to here, the dress is. So all you're going to see is her face and her hands. That's it, because from her neck all the way down to her toes. Next, we see Shida. She's praying. Oh, her sisters were trying to tell her it's not too late to say no to this wedding and go home. So next we see Shida praying, and she had her face to the carpet. And I hope she's not getting no makeup on Bilal's white carpet, because he'll have a fit on her. He will have a fit. And threaten to leave her on the highway again. In her confessional, she tells us that Bilal put in what she asked for in the prenup. She said she has concerns for the future because they argue a lot. Well, she needs to listen to the wise woman, her mother-in-law, who said she should allow Bilal to lead her and she should follow him. Follow that advice. I wouldn't follow that advice. So we see Shida all dressed. She's wearing a turban on her head like Dick Cannon. And I think the turban is quite ridiculous. She FaceTimed with her relatives in Trinidad to show them the finishing product. And the turban looked crooked to me. It looked crooked. Let me see what else happened. So it's time for the wedding, and Bilal's daughter, she sings something in Islam while Shida is walking down the aisle. I hate her dress and her turban, but I like her bouquet. Her bouquet was pretty. So for the Islamic religion / tradition, both her and Bilal has to say 3 times I do. And that was it. No vows, no exchanging of the rings, no kiss, no fun. But they did take pictures, and the kids said they are happy, and the son said he did not fall asleep during the ceremony, when clearly we saw him with his eyes closed. I don't know if he was asleep, but his eyes were closed while the ceremony was happening. And Bilal gave Shida a piece of jewelry that his father gave to his mother that says they won't give up on each other. So they danced, and it looked like they were doing the Cupid shuffle. Bilal's son, he was just getting down. He was dancing like, who was he dancing like? I can't remember that guy's name. The guy that does the bird. Oh. He was flapping his arms around like a bird. But he was getting into it. He was having a good time. And next day, going to the bedroom, Bilal and Shida goes into the bedroom to make babies. And that's the end of the season. Thank goodness. I was sick of these couples. I will not be reviewing the tell-all. The tell-all is just the couples bashing each other. But at the end of August, 90 Day Fiance after the 90 days is coming on. And I can't wait. I will definitely be reviewing that. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Princess on a Pillow here. Bye.